It's another week of Savvy Suppers. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is my series where I go to the supermarket and I spend under 50 New Zealand dollars. I make 3 dinners for the week for 2 to 3 people, and you always have leftovers for your lunch, which seems absolutely crazy these days because food prices are going through the roof here in New Zealand. What are they like where you live? Either way, we are here to make every dollar count without eating boring food. Now, what you're probably wondering is how much did it actually cost? This week's shopping came in at $50.69, so you will have to forgive me, but the carrots, they didn't have any loose. So instead of them costing me $1.20 because I wanted 4 carrots, they ended up costing me $3.49. Not cool, supermarket, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. So I reckon what we should probably do is get into this first dinner, and we are making a Greek lemon chicken soup. It's an absolute winner for the winter time here in New Zealand because lemons are in season, so it seems like a perfect thing to make for a cold winter's night because it's soupy, delicious, and we are going to learn some technique with the egg. We're going to temper it to make a thick and creamy sauce. It's going to be absolutely delicious. So let's get into this first dinner. It's Greek chicken and lemon soup. To another week of Savvy Suppers, where I've gone to the supermarket, I've spent under 50 New Zealand dollars and made 3 dinners for the week for 2 to 3 people, and you always have leftovers for your lunch. And this week's shopping came in at $50.69. I think this is one of the first times I've gone over the $50, but it was all because the carrots came in a bag and I couldn't buy them loose. So let's get on with the first dinner of the week. We are making Avgolemono, which is a Greek lemon chicken soup, and oh my god, it's creamy. You are going to be so surprised by what we do to create that. Soften up your carrot and onions, and because I hate things going to waste, I found some sad floppy celery in the fridge, so we'll add that in too. And once it's all sweated off, add in your chicken stock, let it cook, and while the orzo cooks and our chicken cools down to shred, we're going to make the creamy deliciousness that goes into it. Crack 3 eggs into your bowl, add the juice of your 2 lemons. It's citrus season here in New Zealand, and this bright freshness from these lemons will cheer up any winter's day. And for the most important part of all, we need to temper these eggs, so we're going to use some of the hot stock to warm up these eggs, turn down the heat to low, and slowly trickle in these eggs, and they are going to make this soup thick, creamy, and utterly delectable. And stir back in that shredded chicken. This incredible creamy Greek chicken soup, it honestly is absolutely delicious. That's dinner 1 of the week. Make sure you tune back in to find out what happens with the rest of the ingredients. Yum. Welcome back to Savvy Suppers. It's dinner 2 of the week. I've gone to the shop, spent under $50, and I'm making 3 dinners for 2 to 3 people, and you'll always have leftovers for your lunch. And for today's dish, we're bringing in some spicy, delicious flavors. We've already been to Greece, and now we're off to a whole selection of Europe, but it's going to be absolutely delicious. So let's get dinner 2 on the go. Savvy Suppers is all about making every dollar count without eating boring food, and I hope that this dish can really show you that with a little bit of imagination, you can make something utterly delicious that doesn't cost a lot. And now that all our prep is ready, this is where it's up to you. Whatever pantry spices you have, you can add in. So we're going to prep this mix, we're going to cook it down till it's super caramelized. While that's happening, we're also going to make our tomato sauce, add a load more of them spices into the base, and then blanched cabbage leaves. We're going to wrap up our mix. And once they're all rolled up, pop on your lid and sit them on the stove. These have cooked down, they smell absolutely delicious. Plug in a little cream and give it a good blend. And after 20 or so minutes, the chicken is all cooked and it's time to get it on the plate. If you're looking for this recipe or any of the other Savvy Suppers, you can find them all on my website. Something interesting, delicious that you've probably never tried before, and is an absolute win in the flavour department. Delicious and spicy, and them little sweet pickled onions on the top will make this one of those dishes that you'll serve up to people and they'll be seriously impressed. You have got to give this one a go. Oh my god, how good did them rolled cabbages look? I can't tell you how delicious they really are. It's such a different way to eat something that's cheap. You know, cabbage rolls are like world over. Every single country has a version of it, and these ones were delicious with them kind of smoky, warm, Middle Eastern kind of flavors, honestly, and the sauce on the bottom with that little touch of cream. Absolutely phenomenal. Now it's time to get onto that third and final recipe of this week. But before we jump into that, make sure you check out my Savvy Suppers playlist. I have got 10 or 12 weeks of budget dinner meals. Just because you're cooking on a budget, it doesn't mean you have to eat boring food. That is what this whole thing is all about. And if you really, we're ready to go. And if this has really tickled your fancy, I brought out a whole cookbook dedicated to Savvy Suppers. It's in the description box down below and you can buy it on my website. So click there, have a look. It's an absolute banger. But let's get into this last dinner. Half of it's already done. That's what that beat was. So let's get into this last dinner so you can see what it is. Welcome back to Savvy Suppers, and it's the last dinner of the week. If you're new around here, I go to the supermarket, spend under $50, make dinner for 2 to 3 people, and have leftovers for your lunch. And it's Friday night, so we all know that that means let's make an absolute banger. We're off to Mexico with some Mexican pulled chicken, a delicious slaw, obviously some chips, and a little bit of chili on the side. We all know that time often equals flavour, but sometimes we don't always have the time. So a great way to speed up this pulled chicken is by doing it in the pressure cooker. And in the interest of time, what's great with this sauce is you take half out to put with your chicken and the other half you cook down and is your base for your chili. And while all the things are working, we just need to make our chips and our slaw. Finish your slaw however you like and bake your chips or whack them in the air fryer. The chicken is finished in the pressure cooker and now I'm going to feel like I'm on MasterChef. And once your chicken's all shredded, it's time to plate it up. And to finish it off, we had leftover from our last meal, some of them delicious pickled onions. An absolute Friday night banger that will disappoint no one. And our last Savvy Supper of the week. If you've missed any of the other Savvy Suppers this week, make sure you head to my website, check them out. But for now, oh my God, honestly, for a Friday night win, this is the one. And that slow-cooked chicken will feed you, probably 2 others, and you'll have some leftovers for your lunch tomorrow. That is what Savvy Suppers is all about. I hope you've enjoyed this week of going around the world on another Savvy Suppers. And make sure if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you never miss out another Savvy Suppers that's coming out of the Dishes with Del kitchen. But for now, it's the end of the day. And it's time. To go and sit down. Oh my God, them beans, by the way, delicious. Quickly before we go, you know, using things like a taco seasoning, they're usually cheap from the supermarket if you buy the own brand, and it's a great way to add flavour to a base of something you're making. Thank you again for joining me here at Dishes with Del, and I'll see you all next week for something equally delicious. Or maybe from the garden. Because if you didn't know, I'm trying to grow my own grocery store in my back garden. God knows why I decided to do it. I'm not an accomplished gardener. But if that interests you, come along for that ride because it's an absolute lol. My boyfriend's helping me out. It's something totally different from cooking in the kitchen, but hopefully what we can do is grow all the food out there and bring it inside and make delicious recipes. But now that's it. It's me, my pulled chicken kind of Mexican bowl, and time to sit down. I will see you all later. Love you lots. Goodbye for now.